President Trump doesn't spitball. He was just sitting there saying every single Palestinian should be resettled someplace else, not in Gaza, and dispersed throughout the Middle East. Do you think that's a realistic plan?
Hello, Elizabeth. Very, very interesting. I think talk about moving historical goalposts. What the president just said is something, that only extreme parts of the Israeli political landscape have been dreaming about. And now it is being said and repeated by the most powerful man in the world and the leader of the United States of America. Definitely room for pause and for the people in the region, for Egypt and Palestinians and Jordanians and others to kind of pause and understand that the situation now is fundamentally different. And I have one point to say, in Israel, after October 7, the immediate aftermath was that many Israelis felt that this was an attack on Israel, not just by Hamas and not just by their special forces, but this was really an attack on Israel by Palestinians who, and I'll remind everybody in terms of numbers, on October 7, more than 2,000 ordinary Palestinian civilians came across into Israel and performed some of the most horrible atrocities against Israelis, and a lot of Israelis paid attention to that. It wasn't only Hamas, and since then, Palestinian civilians have been housing Israeli hostages. They have been aiding Hamas in the fighting. I'm speaking about this because I'm not saying that all of the Palestinians are combatants, but I'm saying that all of the Palestinians kind of being bundled into this situation, from the perspective of what we're hearing from President Trump, there is some logic to it because there really is ongoing problems in Gaza, and the level of radicalization perhaps can only be ruptured by moving people out of there.
It's interesting you bring that up, Colonel, because I'm thinking just of the hostages that were just released a couple weeks ago, and you saw these women surrounded by these mobs of people. Yes, all Palestinians are not members of Hamas, but Hamas still enjoys great support among Palestinian civilians. You only need to look at the video. If we have it, we can put it up. The video and the pictures of these women being crushed, in essence, by this mob of people in Gaza as they were being escorted by the Red Crescent to waiting cars to be transported to Israel.
Yes, and I mean, if we go further, and if we, maybe our viewers here, they don't usually listen to Arabic language media, but I can, as someone who does, if you listen to what Palestinians, ordinary Palestinians, what they say on Al Jazeera, what you hear on social media, you hear a lot of tremendous grassroots support for Hamas, for their actions against Israel, and for the political future outlook on the conflict. Palestinians are saying our way forward is jihad, and we want to fight the Jews until we win. Maybe that is something that, has bubbled up all the way up to the president, and maybe the president, as someone who takes a disruptive approach to governance, we see it in domestic politics and we see it in international politics. Maybe the president is saying, well, I'm going to go straight for a long-term solution to the problem here. We've had about 50 years, 55 years of fighting between Israel and Gaza, so many years of instability and suffering. I want to cut that chain of violence and suffering, and the way that I am going to do it is by moving people out. Now, in the post-Second World War order, that is unheard of, right? Up until the Second World War, you could do that. If two ethnic groups or two countries fought, then the winning side would take terrain and banish the people from the losing side. That's how humans fought for millennia. We stopped that after the Second World War, and what, in a sense, we're seeing now is a fresh approach on warfare, which perhaps is more suitable for the new environment where state actors are fighting against non-state actors, and where, you know, Israel as a country has been faced with these ongoing threats that they seem to never end. And maybe this will bring an end to it.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.